Hello everyone. Next, we'll be discussing how to formulate a company strategy or how to formulate a business strategy. This presentation will be very interesting. We will cover 3 tools. The first is PESTLE Analysis, the second is SWOT Analysis, and finally Delphi Analysis. We'll be using these analysis tools to clarify our goals, and then the strategy formulation will gradually become clear. Let's take a look at this together. First, we'll use a PESTLE Analysis to analyze the macro environment to determine which areas are suitable for operation. PESTLE Analysis is a macro-environmental analysis. It consists of 6 factors. The first is political factors. The second is economic factors. The third is socio-cultural factors. The fourth is technological factors. Then environmental and legal factors. Let's break this down. Say if we want to move into a certain industry, you'll need to understand what the major trends are, including the national trends. For instance, right now, green business is the future. Also, people are returning to their hometowns to start businesses. In that case, returning to our hometowns to create agricultural products might be a good opportunity. This aligns with the national policy. So we need to get a handle on current policies. That is, the government's policy decisions and the political stability. For example, if you were to do business in Ukraine right now or in Russia, that would be a terrible idea. Even during the current conflict between Russia and Ukraine, even if you're in Western Europe or Central Europe, you'd be impacted. I know this because I have students there and they keep me updated. So at times, these situations, including foreign trade policies. As you know, the China's trade war has lasted for several years. When trade conditions aren't favorable, engaging in trade can be quite challenging. So we need to understand the political factors and secondly, economic factors. As for the economy, is it currently a bear or a bull market? Are we seeing significant growth or a major downturn? Since I have many students, so sometimes I'll post on my WeChat moments to ask some questions. And I always get a few helpful classmates who will respond. As of now, it's October 2020. Finding a job these days is incredibly tough for some people. Last year, just posting a resume online would get you tons of calls from headhunters, tons of calls. But this year, posting the same resume, you'd barely get any bites. He even submitted several resumes, but hardly anyone contacted him. It's a stark contrast to last year. So the economic trend isn't looking good. Many companies aren't hiring. Even large companies are laying off 1,020% of their workforce. So in this economic climate, you need to understand your current endeavor, whether it can benefit from economic growth, or when the economy declines, how to avoid or minimize losses. This is what you need to be doing, right? Unemployment rates are likely on the rise, so a lot of these talented people are finding it harder to get a job. You might have even seen on platforms like Zhihu articles about this, like a 40-year-old guy, highly capable with strong management skills, ended up staying at home for a year or so, only to find the job markets dried up. This is probably due to the current economic climate. When the economy isn't doing well, and we want to create a new product or start a business, we need to understand the current economic trends. We need to make sure we're really attracting the market. Third, there are socio-cultural factors like the age of the population and other demographics. I have some friends who run factories and they say it's getting harder to hire people. But I'm not just talking about this year. Over the past 5 years, it's become increasingly difficult to hire workers. 10 years ago, hiring was easy, but as time goes on, workers' demands are higher, but their skills aren't as good and they're less reliable. It's a real dilemma. Why is that? Because many are only children with families that are better off, so they haven't had it hard. They're unwilling to work in factories to do that kind of hard work. So in this regard, you need to understand that the demographic dividend is no longer a benefit. This could be reversed in the future, where a small group supports the needs of the whole society. So under these circumstances, what can be done? The country has now implemented a 3-child policy, and they're encouraging people to have a 3rd child, right? So with these incentives in place, will we actually see a baby boom? Could you think about creating maternity and baby products or educational stuff for kids? Is that possible? Then there are the technological factors. Technological developments like 5G and blockchain. Then there's virtual reality, augmented reality, and other new technologies. Can you take advantage of these new technologies in your startup or in your products to better accomplish certain tasks? Undertaking this kind of RD, technological changes. And then there are environmental factors. Take the atmospheric environment. If the policies are favorable or the environmental regulations are supportive, if your industry generates a lot of wastewater. For emissions, the government might shut it down because of carbon emission quotas, right? But if your industry can turn waste into a resource, if you can take wastewater and purify it, then you might be onto something. You've got tons of opportunities here, you see. All right, and finally, legal factors. We can't break the law. As Professor Luo Shang said, all of China's big moneymakers are listed in the criminal code. Stay away from them, folks. So regarding legal factors, stay well within the boundaries. Let's talk about the PESTLE analysis. We need to examine it from every angle, every aspect of it. Once you've done that, you'll have a better grasp of the factors that could impact what you're doing or planning to do. And most importantly, when you're looking to expand internationally, this tool will help you understand your product better. Will it really take off in foreign markets?